Have you ever noticed that it feels harder to climb stairs, get up from a chair, or carry groceries than it did just a few years ago? Most people over 60 assume it's just getting older. But what if the real reason is something we can actually change? The truth is, millions of seniors are silently losing muscle every year. Not because of illness or injury, but simply because they're missing one key food in their daily routine. In today's video, we're going to talk about a surprising truth. 99% of seniors are ignoring one powerful food that could help rebuild and protect their muscles. And without it, you may be losing strength faster than you realize. This isn't about lifting weights at the gym or taking expensive supplements. It's about a simple source of protein, or leucine, that your body desperately needs after 60. And yet, it's often missing from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia, begins quietly in your 50s and accelerates after age 60. You may not notice it right away, but over time it leads to weakness, balance problems, slower walking, and eventually a higher risk of falls, hospitalization, and even loss of independence. But here's the good news. You can stop this process and even reverse it, starting with what you put on your plate. This video will walk you through the 7 best foods for rebuilding muscle naturally, including one that almost nobody talks about, yet it's affordable, easy to find, and incredibly effective. We'll explain the science in simple terms, share real-life examples, and give you tips that you can start using today. Because the truth is, you're not too old to rebuild strength. And with the right food choices, you can keep your body stronger, steadier, and more capable for years to come. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1, understanding muscle loss. After 60, the hidden decline. Mr. Robert, a retired teacher now in his late 70s, used to be full of energy. He walked daily, gardened, and enjoyed weekend fishing trips with his grandkids. But over the past few years, he noticed something subtle but persistent. He had a harder time standing up from the couch. Walking up the stairs made him short of breath, and lifting even light groceries felt heavier than before. At first, he blamed it on aging, assuming it was just a normal part of getting older. But after a minor fall in his driveway, his doctor told him something he never expected. "Robert, you're losing muscle. Quietly, steadily, and faster than you think." This is a reality many people over 60 face. It's called sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. Starting as early as age 50, adults can lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass per year. And after age 70, that loss can accelerate dramatically. The problem is, it's often so gradual that most people don't notice until they're already struggling. When they start avoiding stairs, using their arms to push off from chairs, or hesitating to walk long distances. Why does this happen? One major reason is that as we age, our bodies become less efficient at synthesizing protein into muscle. That means you could be eating the same foods you always have, but your body no longer uses that protein as effectively as it did when you were younger. Without adjusting your nutrition and activity to account for this change, muscle begins to shrink. It's not just a cosmetic issue, it affects balance, independence, mobility, and even lifespan. Even more concerning, muscle loss isn't just about physical strength. It also impacts your metabolism, immune system, and ability to recover from illness or surgery. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, higher risk of insulin resistance, and increased vulnerability to infection or injury. In fact, studies have shown that older adults with low muscle mass are more likely to suffer complications in the hospital and take longer to heal. But here's the good news. Muscle loss isn't permanent and it isn't inevitable. With the right approach, including targeted nutrition and gentle, regular movement, you can slow, stop, and even reverse muscle decline. And it starts with understanding what your body needs, especially high-quality, muscle-building protein. Mr. Robert took that advice seriously. He began making changes to his breakfast, adding more protein-rich foods like eggs and Greek yogurt, and began walking more consistently. Within a few months, he felt steadier on his feet, had more energy, and even noticed his balance improving. "I didn't realize how weak I was getting until I started getting strong again," he says. So ask yourself, have you noticed changes in your strength, balance, or energy lately? Are you doing enough to protect the muscle you still have and rebuild what may already be slipping away? In the next section, we'll explore a key reason why most seniors don't get the full benefit of protein, because they're missing a powerful amino acid called leucine. Let's talk about what it is and why your muscles can't rebuild without it. Number 2, why most seniors don't get enough leucine, the forgotten amino acid. When Mrs. Elaine turned 72, she made a big effort to eat healthy. She cut back on red meat, started eating more salads, and even skipped breakfast on some mornings to manage her weight. But despite her efforts, she began to feel weaker over time. Her arms felt softer, her legs lost strength, and getting out of a chair became more of a struggle than she remembered. She thought she was doing everything right, until a visit with a nutritionist changed her perspective. The issue wasn't just how much she was eating, it was what she was missing. That missing link? A powerful amino acid called leucine. Leucine is one of the 9 essential amino acids, nutrients your body can't make on its own and must get from food. But among those, leucine stands out. It acts as a biological trigger that tells your body, start building muscle now. Without enough leucine in your diet, even if you're getting some protein, your body may never get the full signal to repair or grow muscle tissue. For younger people, a small amount of protein often does the job. But for seniors, the body becomes more resistant to those signals. This is due to something called anabolic resistance, a natural part of aging where your muscles need more stimulation and more leucine just to do what they used to. The challenge is that most older adults eat meals that are too low in leucine. A light breakfast of toast and fruit or a dinner of rice and vegetables might seem healthy, but they don't provide enough of the specific amino acids needed to preserve muscle. Even eating a good amount of protein doesn't always help if it's not high in leucine. For adults over 60, researchers recommend that each meal should include around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine to effectively stimulate muscle growth. That's equivalent to about 2 large eggs, a portion of lean poultry or fish, a cup of cooked soybeans, or a scoop of high-quality protein powder with added leucine. Once Mrs. Elaine learned this, she changed her routine. She started eating 2 eggs with whole grain toast instead of just cereal. She added a side of grilled tofu to her lunchtime salad and replaced her mid-morning snack with a small smoothie made from soy milk, Greek yogurt, and berries. These simple tweaks gave her body what it needed to maintain and rebuild muscle. And within a few months, she felt stronger and more balanced again. "I wasn't just eating healthy," she said. "I was eating smart for my muscles." Not all proteins are created equal. Animal proteins like eggs, dairy, poultry, and fish are naturally rich in leucine. Some plant-based sources like soy, lentils, and tempeh are also excellent if consumed in the right amounts. What matters most is consistency and ensuring that each meal has enough leucine-rich protein to keep your muscles from slipping away. So here's the question for you. Are you giving your muscles the nutrients they need to stay strong? Or are your meals leaving your body full, but silently weaker? In the next section, we'll look at one of the simplest, most affordable sources of leucine and high-quality protein that almost every senior has in their kitchen: eggs, and why they should be your muscle's best friend. Conflicting advice about cholesterol and heart health. Over time, eggs disappeared from his breakfast plate, replaced by cereal, toast, or fruit. Years later, after suffering a fall that resulted in a fractured hip, he found himself struggling to regain his strength during physical therapy. That's when his therapist asked him a surprisingly simple question: "Are you eating enough protein, especially eggs?" That moment changed everything. Mr. Gerald returned to his old habit of eating eggs regularly, and over the following months, his energy, balance, and strength improved in ways he hadn't felt in years. Eggs are often referred to as nature's perfect protein, and that's not just a catchy phrase. Each large egg contains about 6 to 7 grams of complete protein, meaning it provides all 9 essential amino acids that the human body cannot produce on its own. One of those amino acids, leucine, plays a critical role in muscle repair and growth, particularly in older adults. In fact, each egg contains approximately 500 milligrams of leucine. By simply eating 2 eggs at breakfast, you're already close to the recommended 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine needed to activate muscle protein synthesis in seniors. But the benefits of eggs go beyond leucine. They're highly bioavailable, which means your body can digest, absorb, and utilize their protein more efficiently than many other sources. This is crucial for older adults whose digestive systems may not process nutrients as effectively as they once did. In short, eggs deliver high-quality, usable protein that your muscles can count on, especially when they're slowly declining due to age. What about cholesterol? For years, eggs got an unfair reputation for raising blood cholesterol levels. But decades of updated research have now shown that dietary cholesterol in eggs has little impact on blood cholesterol for most people. In fact, moderate egg consumption, 1 to 2 per day, is considered safe and even beneficial, particularly for older adults who need more high-quality protein, vitamin D, and essential fats. Eggs are also incredibly easy to prepare, budget-friendly, and versatile. Mr. Gerald now enjoys 2 soft-boiled eggs each morning, paired with a slice of whole-grain toast. On the weekends, he'll scramble eggs with spinach and onions, or treat himself to a vegetable omelet topped with a little low-fat cheese. For snacks, he keeps hard-boiled eggs in the fridge, ready to grab when he feels his energy lagging. And when he wants to lighten things up, he mixes 1 whole egg with 2 egg whites, cutting back on fat while still getting plenty of protein and nutrients. Beyond muscle strength, eggs offer additional health benefits that are especially important for seniors. They're rich in vitamin D, which supports bone health and immune function. They also provide choline, a nutrient critical for brain function and memory, particularly relevant as we age. And with a healthy mix of B vitamins, selenium, and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, eggs help protect the eyes and support energy metabolism. Perhaps most importantly, eggs are gentle on the stomach. For seniors who may experience bloating or indigestion from heavier proteins like red meat, eggs are a light, satisfying alternative. They pair beautifully with other nutritious foods like avocado, leafy greens, or roasted vegetables, making them a foundational piece of any muscle-supportive diet. So the real question is this: have you been avoiding eggs because of outdated fears, or are you ready to welcome them back as part of a powerful strategy to preserve strength and independence? For Mr. Gerald, the choice to bring eggs back into his life wasn't just about nostalgia. It was about reclaiming energy, balance, and confidence. And for anyone over 60 looking to protect their muscles, few foods offer more value, more convenience, or more nourishment than a humble egg. Coming up next, we'll explore another protein powerhouse that's often overlooked by seniors, but is equally rich in leucine and packed with heart-healthy benefits: soy. Let's dive into it in the next section. Number 4, soy, the plant-based powerhouse seniors overlook. When Mrs. Jean, a 74-year-old retired librarian, decided to cut back on meat for heart health reasons, she thought she was doing her body a favor. She switched to light salads, veggie soups, and fruit smoothies. But after a year, her energy dipped. She felt physically weaker, and her doctor warned her that her muscle mass had noticeably declined. That's when a dietitian introduced her to soy, a food she'd always assumed was just for vegetarians. But once she started including soy in her meals, things changed quickly. Within a few months, she felt stronger, her walking speed improved, and she even began light resistance exercises again. Now she calls tofu her secret strength food. Soy is one of the best plant-based sources of complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build and maintain muscle, including a generous amount of leucine. For seniors who want to maintain or rebuild muscle but prefer a more plant-focused or heart-conscious diet, soy offers a powerful solution. It's gentle on the digestive system, rich in nutrients, and highly versatile, making it easy to incorporate into everyday meals. A cup of cooked soybeans contains over 28 grams of protein and roughly 2.3 grams of leucine, which is nearly the ideal amount per meal to stimulate muscle protein synthesis in older adults. That means one serving of soy, whether it's tofu, tempeh, soy milk, or edamame, can provide the muscle support your body desperately needs after 60. But soy doesn't just help with strength, it also supports heart health, bone density, and hormonal balance. Soy foods contain isoflavones, plant-based compounds that mimic estrogen in a gentle and beneficial way. These can help alleviate symptoms of menopause, protect bone health, and may even help lower the risk of certain cancers. Plus, soy is naturally low in saturated fat and free of cholesterol, making it a heart-healthy option for those managing blood pressure or cholesterol levels. Mrs. Jean now rotates soy into her diet several times a week. She adds soy milk to her morning coffee and oatmeal, enjoys grilled tofu with stir-fried vegetables, and snacks on lightly salted edamame in the afternoons. Her favorite dish? Baked teriyaki tempeh with steamed broccoli and brown rice. Not only does it taste good, it helps her feel energized and balanced throughout the day. One of the biggest myths about soy is that it's only for vegetarians, or that it might be harmful due to its isoflavone content. But decades of research have shown that moderate soy intake is not only safe, it's beneficial, especially for older adults. In fact, in countries like Japan, where soy consumption is high, seniors experience significantly lower rates of muscle loss, heart disease, and cognitive decline. If you're new to soy, start simple. Try unsweetened soy milk, which is higher in protein than almond or oat milk. Experiment with firm tofu in a stir-fry or salad, or toss edamame into soups, rice bowls, or as a side dish. You can even blend silken tofu into smoothies for a protein boost without the taste of soy. So ask yourself, are you giving your muscles the support they need from plants as well as animals? If you're aiming to age with strength and vitality, adding soy to your diet a few times a week might be one of the smartest and most practical steps you can take. Up next, we'll explore another delicious and nutrient-packed food that does double duty, supporting both muscle strength and brain health. Let's talk about the power of fish in the next section. Number 5, fish. Gentle, lean protein that supports both muscle and brain health. Mr. Henry, 81 years old and a former postal worker, had always been active throughout his life. But after retiring, his movement slowed down, and he began to notice that both his muscles and his memory were slipping. He'd get tired quicker, felt stiffness in his legs, and occasionally forgot little things, like why he walked into a room. A friend from church suggested he add more fish to his diet, especially salmon and sardines. At first, he was unsure. "Isn't that too expensive?" he asked. But after trying it for a few weeks and feeling more alert, more mobile, and even sleeping better, Henry was convinced. Now, fish is a regular guest on his dinner plate, and he calls it his brain and biceps food. Fish is one of the most nutrient-dense and efficient sources of protein for older adults. Unlike heavy cuts of meat, fish is light on the stomach, easy to digest, and packed with high-quality protein and leucine, two of the most important things your body needs to maintain and rebuild muscle after 60. A typical 3 to 4 ounce portion of salmon or tuna provides around 20 to 25 grams of complete protein and roughly 1.6 to 2 grams of leucine, a powerful punch for such a small meal. But fish doesn't stop at muscle health. It's also one of the best foods for brain support, thanks to its high content of omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA. These fatty acids have been shown to reduce inflammation in the body, protect brain cells from age-related decline, and improve memory and mood. In fact, seniors who eat fish regularly have been shown to experience slower rates of cognitive decline, and some studies even link omega-3s to a reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. Fish also provides important nutrients like vitamin D, B12, iodine, and selenium, all of which contribute to nerve function, bone strength, and energy metabolism. For people over 60, who often face deficiencies in these vitamins and minerals, fish becomes more than just a protein source. It becomes a full-body support system. Mr. Henry began by eating fish just once a week, usually grilled salmon or a can of sardines on whole grain crackers. Over time, he increased to 2 or 3 servings per week. Now his favorites include baked cod with lemon and herbs, tuna salad with olive oil and celery, and even frozen fish fillets cooked in the air fryer with vegetables. He's also discovered canned mackerel as a budget-friendly, nutrient-dense option. "I never thought I'd crave fish," he laughs, "but now I look forward to it." If you're worried about costs, remember that frozen and canned fish are both affordable and convenient, and they retain their nutritional value. Look for wild-caught varieties when possible, and aim for at least 2 servings of fish per week, especially oily fish like salmon, sardines, trout, or mackerel. Avoid deep-fried versions, which can cancel out many of the health benefits. Another tip? Try pairing fish with muscle-friendly sides, like sweet potatoes, steamed greens, or a quinoa salad. This combination offers not just strength-building protein, but also anti-inflammatory nutrients and long-lasting energy. So ask yourself, is your weekly menu helping your muscles and your mind stay strong? If not, adding fish might be one of the simplest, most impactful changes you can make. Delicious, easy, and incredibly effective. In the next section, we'll talk about the importance of when you eat your protein. Not just what you eat. The timing of your meals can play a huge role in how your body uses protein to protect your muscles. Let's explore that next. Number 6, the timing trick. When you eat protein matters more than you think. Mr. Lewis, a 79-year-old retired mechanic, had always prided himself on eating well. He made sure to include meat in his dinner almost every night and believed that as long as he got enough protein, by the end of the day, he was doing the right thing. But despite his efforts, he began noticing troubling signs. He felt unusually weak in the mornings, often struggled with balance when stepping out of bed, and his legs felt stiff and heavy throughout the day. A conversation with his physical therapist after a minor knee injury revealed something that surprised him. The timing of his protein intake might be just as important, if not more so, than the amount. As we age, our body's response to protein changes significantly. This is due to a phenomenon called anabolic resistance, which means that our muscles become less efficient at using dietary protein to repair and rebuild themselves. In younger adults, a small amount of protein at any time of day can easily stimulate muscle repair. But for seniors, the body needs more protein, and it needs it strategically. Research shows that evenly distributing protein throughout the day, rather than consuming the bulk of it in one large meal, usually dinner, leads to greater muscle maintenance, improved strength, and better physical performance. Yet many older adults, like Mr. Lewis, eat very little protein at breakfast, perhaps a piece of toast, some fruit, or a cup of coffee. Lunch is often light as well. It isn't until dinner that they consume a proper meal, by which time their muscles may no longer be as receptive to utilizing it fully. Once Louis understood this, he made intentional changes to his routine. He began his day with 2 boiled eggs and a glass of unsweetened soy milk, which gave him nearly 25 grams of high-quality protein and a strong dose of leucine to kickstart his muscles. For lunch, instead of just soup or salad, he added a grilled chicken sandwich or a tofu stir-fry with brown rice. Dinner remained balanced with baked fish and steamed vegetables. Within just a few weeks, he noticed a difference. His mornings felt lighter, his legs less stiff, and his energy stayed more consistent throughout the day. His physical therapist even noted improvements in his balance and recovery. "I didn't eat more," Lewis said. "I just spread it out, and my body thanked me." The science is clear. Each meal should contain roughly 25 to 30 grams of protein to effectively stimulate muscle growth in older adults. If you only hit that target once per day, your body misses 2 other opportunities to protect your muscle mass. Think of each meal as a chance to activate your muscles. Without enough protein at breakfast or lunch, your body simply doesn't receive the signal to build and preserve muscle, no matter how much protein you eat later in the day. Here's an example of a well-timed protein day. Breakfast: Greek yogurt with chia seeds and berries, 20 to 25 grams of protein. Lunch: lentil soup with whole grain toast and a side of edamame, 25 to 30 grams of protein. Dinner: grilled salmon, quinoa, and sautéed spinach, 30 grams plus protein. Snack, optional, cottage cheese or a protein shake, 10 to 15 grams of protein. Another important point is timing protein around physical activity. Even a 15-minute walk or light resistance exercises can improve how your muscles absorb protein, especially if you follow that movement with a meal or snack that contains protein. This window of opportunity helps your muscles recover and grow stronger. Unfortunately, many seniors unknowingly fall into a pattern where their lightest meals are when their muscles need support most, and their heaviest meals come when their bodies are winding down. By simply rebalancing your plate, you can transform your nutrition into a muscle-preserving strategy that supports independence, mobility, and strength. So here's a question to ask yourself. Are you feeding your muscles throughout the day, or just giving them a single meal to survive on? For Mr. Louis, the answer changed everything. And it's a reminder to us all that aging well isn't just about what we eat. It's about how we time our nutrition to work with our bodies, not against them. Next, we'll explore practical ways to reach your daily protein goal with simple, accessible foods you already enjoy without making your meals more complicated. Let's keep building momentum in the next section. Number 7. Add this daily simple ways to reach your protein goal without changing everything. Mrs. Dolores, 80 years old and full of quiet determination, had never been one to eat large meals. She preferred small portions, toast with tea in the morning, maybe a piece of fruit mid-afternoon, and a modest dinner. For years, she thought this light way of eating was good for her health. But as time passed, she began to notice changes. Her legs felt weaker, her arms tired. More quickly, and her daily walks, which once brought her joy, started feeling like a chore. She didn't think much of it until her doctor mentioned something she'd never considered. You're not eating enough protein. Not more food, just better, more intentional nourishment. That moment changed her relationship with food forever. Most seniors don't realize that as we age, our daily protein needs increase, not decrease. While the average adult may do fine with 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, research shows that older adults, especially those over 65, need closer to 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram to maintain and rebuild muscle. For someone like Mrs. Dolores, who weighs around 70 kilograms or 154 pounds, that means her target should be between 84 and 105 grams of protein per day, a number she had never even thought about. At first, this number sounded intimidating. "I can't eat that much," she said. But with the help of a nutritionist and a few practical changes, she discovered that reaching that goal didn't require eating more food. It simply meant being smarter about what she was already eating. Instead of her usual toast and tea for breakfast, she began adding 2 scrambled eggs and a small glass of unsweetened soy milk. That alone gave her over 20 grams of protein before 9 a.m. For lunch, she enjoyed a warm bowl of chicken and quinoa soup or a tofu salad topped with sunflower seeds. Her afternoon snack became a small cup of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese with sliced peaches, something she found both satisfying and refreshing. Dinner remained mostly the same: grilled salmon, lentils, or baked tofu with vegetables. What changed was her intention. She was no longer just eating to feel full, she was eating to stay strong. And the results? Within just a few weeks, Mrs. Dolores noticed a difference. She could walk farther without getting winded. She stood up from the sofa with ease. Her energy returned, and she even began doing gentle strength exercises twice a week. "I used to think getting weaker was normal," she said, "but I didn't realize I was starving my muscles." The truth is, many older adults unknowingly shortchange themselves when it comes to protein. Breakfast is often light, lunch is minimal, and most of the day's protein gets packed into dinner, when the body is least active and less responsive to it. To protect your muscle mass, the key is to spread protein throughout the day. This doesn't mean eating more food, but rather making sure that every meal and even snacks contain high-quality sources of protein that your body can use efficiently. Even if you don't enjoy cooking, there are countless simple ways to do this. A hard-boiled egg or a spoonful of peanut butter, A cup of soy milk or a scoop of protein powder in your smoothie, canned tuna on whole grain toast, a few slices of turkey with fruit, or a handful of edamame as a snack. These aren't drastic changes. They're coming small, realistic habits that over time build toward better strength, better balance, and greater independence. So here's the question. Are you feeding your muscles enough to stay active, independent, and strong? Or are you unknowingly letting your strength slip away, one low-protein meal at a time? Like Mrs. Dolores, you don't need a complete diet makeover. Just a few thoughtful choices each day, spread out, consistent, and intentional, can be enough to turn things around. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at the early signs that your muscles may already be fading, and what you can do, starting today, to fight back before it's too late. Let's keep going. Number 8, signs your muscles are fading and how to fight back before it's too late. Mr. Alvin, an 82-year-old former jazz musician, always prided himself on being active and independent. He'd walk to the corner store, play piano for hours, and take care of his small garden. But slowly, things began to change. He started using his hands to push himself out of chairs. Carrying grocery bags felt heavier than usual. One day, while stepping off the curb, he lost his balance and fell. Not hard, but enough to rattle his confidence. The fall wasn't what scared him. What scared him was realizing he hadn't noticed how much strength he lost. What Alvin was experiencing were the quiet, creeping signs of muscle decline. Signs that millions of older adults ignore until they're faced with an injury or a sudden health scare. Muscle loss, or sarcopenia, doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, gradual decline that starts as early as age 50 and accelerates with age, especially after 70. And it doesn't just affect athletes or people who stop going to the gym. It affects everyday movement, the kind we take for granted until it becomes difficult. If you've ever found yourself struggling to open a jar, climbing stairs more slowly, needing to lean on something to get out of a chair, or feeling sore after minor physical effort, those are early warnings. Your muscles are weakening, not because of a disease, but because they're being underfed and underused. The scary part? Many people think this is just normal aging, but while some physical change is expected, losing muscle at a fast pace is not inevitable, and it is reversible with the right steps. In fact, studies have shown that even people in their 80s and 90s can rebuild muscle mass and strength when they combine adequate protein intake with gentle, regular movement. The first step is awareness. Pay attention to subtle signs. Are you walking slower? Are your clothes looser in the arms and legs? Do your legs feel shaky when getting up or going downstairs? Are you avoiding activities that used to feel easy? These clues are your body's way of saying it needs help, and fast. Once you recognize the signs, the next step is action. That means making sure you're getting enough high-quality protein at every meal. Foods like eggs, fish, tofu, yogurt, or legumes, and combining that with light activity, such as walking, stretching, or resistance bands. The combination of protein and movement is powerful. Protein gives your muscles the building blocks, and movement gives them the reason to rebuild. Mr. Alvin began by changing his breakfast, adding 2 eggs and a slice of whole grain toast instead of just coffee. He added a 10-minute morning walk and began doing chair squats and arm circles while watching TV. Within 3 months, he felt more stable on his feet, regained confidence going outside alone, and even started playing piano standing up again. "I thought my body had given up on me," he said, "but really I had stopped giving it what it needed." It's never too late to turn things around. Your muscles are listening, even now. With every bite of protein and every small movement, you are sending a powerful message to your body. I want to stay strong. I want to stay independent. I'm not done yet. So take a moment to reflect. Are you noticing signs that your body is slowing down? Are you ignoring them? Or are you ready to respond before they become harder to reverse? Aging with strength is not a dream. It's a choice. And it begins with listening to your body and giving it what it's quietly asking for. In the final section, we'll bring everything together, the foods, the habits, the mindset, and show you how to make this a lasting routine that protects your strength, independence, and joy of living. Let's finish strong. Conclusion: you're not losing strength because of age. You're losing it because no one told you this. As we close this journey through the truth about muscle loss and aging, I want you to remember one thing. You're not weak, you've just been underinformed. Most seniors believe that feeling tired, unstable, or less independent is simply part of getting older. But that's not the whole truth. Much of what we associate with old age is actually the result of silent muscle decline. And the good news is, it doesn't have to be that way. Throughout this video, we've explored why muscle loss happens, how it sneaks up on you, and most importantly, how to fight back. From the science behind leucine and protein absorption to the power of eggs, soy, and fish, we've uncovered how a few simple foods, eaten at the right times, can help preserve your strength, protect your independence, and keep you feeling confident in your body at any age. You've learned that spreading protein across the day, starting from breakfast, not just dinner, can help your muscles respond better. You've seen how even small changes, like adding Greek yogurt, tofu, or a piece of salmon, can create lasting improvements in your energy, balance, and recovery. And perhaps most importantly, you've seen real stories from real people, like Mr. Gerald, Mrs. Dolores, and Mr. Alvin, who turned their strength and health around simply by feeding their muscles what they were missing. So what's next? You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Start small. Choose one meal maximum to improve this week. Maybe it's adding eggs to your breakfast. Maybe it's having fish twice a week. Or maybe it's standing up during a commercial break and doing 5 gentle squats. These actions may seem minor, but over time they create a foundation of strength that supports everything you love to do. And don't forget, you're not alone. There are millions of people just like you, asking the same questions, making the same changes, and fighting for a better, healthier life. Share this video with a friend or loved one. Talk about it at lunch. Encourage each other. Because aging well isn't just a personal goal, it's a community effort. Thank you for spending your time here today. I hope you feel more informed, more inspired, and more empowered to care for your muscles, your body, and your future. Keep moving, keep learning, and above all, keep believing that your strongest years might still be ahead of you. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.